We all know that we're living in the midst of a communications revolution. Unfortunately, that revolution has largely been described by people in the communications industry who are way too close to the trees to see the forest. So they got it wrong. They misunderstand what's happening and underestimate its impact. They've defined the communications revolution by virtue of what they deal with every day: an explosion in the channels that can be used to distribute messages and the tools that make it possible to access and use those channels. Our cell phone, our social media accounts, the navigation devices in our cars, email, Twitter, the cloud, on and on. The number and capabilities of those tools increases every day. They are incredible, but they are all tools, just tools. The communications revolution we see is different. We think it's about a fundamental change in the very nature of the human animal that took a few million years to achieve and has begun to change our culture, our society, our economics, and politics. To understand this revolution, let's start by looking way back to the emergence of human communications. Imagine that we are early hominids living in a savanna grassland. Unlike other living things, we stand upright and walk together as we look for dinner. We don't yet have a voice box, but as we do hunt for food, we do communicate with each other by pointing and pantomiming to alert each other to what we saw. That type of communications served us well as long as we were hunting together for food. But pointing and pantomiming allows us to communicate only when we are in sight of each other, at the same space, at the same time. It seems obvious that the human animal wasn't very happy with that situation. After all, step by step, over millions of years and in small increments, we worked to overcome the limitations of time and space and how they impact our ability to communicate. And now, today, after millions of years, we can declare victory. To overcome the limitations imposed by distance, we first used drums and smoke signals, and later we posted sentries on watchtowers who could yell alerts to sentries at the next watchtower and down the line. And then there was mail service available only to the rich, and then the Pony Express came, and then telegraph wires and email and instant messages. Similarly, to overcome the inability to record our thoughts to make them accessible to others over a span of time, first we used cave paintings and then handwritten tomes, and then we used the printing press, and now we span time through online encyclopedias and videos and so on. Consider that achievement. At the beginning of the human experience, we could communicate with others only at the same time in the same space. Today, space and time are largely irrelevant. Now that is an extraordinary achievement that really is belittled if you think the communications revolution is all about tools and distribution channels. It isn't. It's about fundamental changes in the way humans live. It's about cultural and social changes that we are just beginning to observe and understand. So here, you won't find us talking about 10 ways how to use the cloud for marketing, but you will find us talking about how we think about the emergence of what we call supporterism. Ideas about a new organizational model we call farming in. Why we think effective communications will increasingly require a reconsideration of the concept and importance of collaboration. How the redefinition of a nation is changing how people relate to each other. And even our ideas about how to make an entrenched entity, like the US government, to actually get things done. If that sort of discussion intrigues you, welcome. We're kindred spirits. Please join in with your comments. consider subscribing or following us. And if we intrigue you, share what we say with others you might think would also be intrigued. It's a revolution. It's a real and fundamental revolution. Understand it and thrive, or fail to see the emerging changes and be obliterated by them.